Pro Koby Kreiger. We're going to be a few tips on how I like to fish a swim jig. You know, swim jigs, I think basically you need three colors. One, you need a bluegill color of a swim jig. You need a shad color of a swim jig. And then the old standby, black and blue. The first thing I do when I get ready to throw a swim jig is I like to give it a haircut. I got fat fingers. I put my fingers right at the base of the hook, and I like to cut it off nice and straight. Now it's ready to go. And when I throw a black and blue, it's a bait that I throw in a little bit darker water, so I like to make it have a little bit bulkier trailer. This here is a wild crawl. It's big, it's bulky. I put her on the back of that jig, you know, and you can play with it a little bit. You may have to pinch a little off the nose, make it a little shorter if the fish are short striking a little bit. Or, you know, I start off big and bulky, and then I can always reduce the size and pull it up and make it a little bit shorter. Now, a bluegill type bait, usually really good when the bluegills are up on the bed and the bluegills are spawning. Now, we have a thing called a J-bug, probably the most versatile bait that B&M makes. I mean, you can flip with it, you can swim it. Obviously, it's great on the back of a swim jig, and I got two little techniques that I use. I take all the little side pinchers off the side. I cut the head off a little bit, make it a little bit shorter. A lot of the bluegills, the bass reed aren't great big when they're up on the bed. Now, most people, when they rig it on a jig, they'll put it flat so it lays like this. Well, I like to turn this J-bug sideways when I put it on my swim jig. Throw it up on there. And now, the tail's sideways instead of horizontal. Gives a little bit better action. A lot of people don't rig it that way. Dip the tails in chartreuse, and it's going to look like a real bluegill when it swims by and the bass can't resist it. Now, when it comes to my shad color swim jig that I like to throw, we have a few different options. You can put a little thunder shad on it. We got a high tail shad you can throw on the back of it. You can use a J-bug, but most of the time I prefer this little thunder shad junior. Once again, I'll pinch the head of it off. I slide it on the swim jig. You know, make sure you get it on there nice and straight. We got a little seam on there to help out with that. You put it on there. Now I got me a shad colored swim jig, and guess what? Shad spawning. This is deadly. So hey, hopefully these tips will help you out. Catch a few more fish on a swim jig.